Nice. What is frozen? It's for a business in Finland.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So let's see what we are supposed to do. Yeah. 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 And there we go. I think I'm having bad conscience since I'm sort of PHP is usually my sort of preferred way of language, and the way I showed you PHP here, it's sort of plain vanilla PHP, so no fancy frameworks or whatever. So I'm putting up my sort of PHP friend here. It's a bit bad. I haven't sort of dressed it up to be compared with JavaScript frameworks or and then the Windows word we'll dive into now then. So I just must show you how to create a route in the Laravel MVC framework, and they basically always look the same more or less like this when you're creating routes. And we'll create the same route in Windows, and you created the same route in Node.js. So maybe that is a good thing. When we know how a framework works in the web environment, web application environment, there are common code structure that we will be aware of. Yes, there should be a router somewhere. It should be a template language. This basic stuff. It really doesn't matter what language I will choose. They will more or less look the same architectural. So that's that, and I'm just saying also that I put up this, I made a quick example on how to get MySQL running in the Node.js environment. So I pushed it up now. It's in the example area, Node.js, MySQL. It just has a rough README saying what you need to do, how to create a table just for the example program, and the two npm packages to install. Okay, good. And how to actually run the different code. So let's just see, I have ls. The first one I'm supposed to run is connect. Yes, connects to the database. And then I try all the example programs here, and I will end up with something called teachers. So connecting to the database, retrieving, doing a select star, retrieving it as a result set, doing a for each loop, and just writing it out as a text table. And there's also one on doing an update there. Update the salary, so let's alla store Moody. Let's lower his salary there. Just showing what type of results that I'm getting back from the database. And just see that the table is updated. Yes, he got a change in salary. So behind that is some code you can use if you are moving on with the Node.js for the projects. So, well, we can stay here, maybe. There we go. And so, in the course repository, we have a few samples, code samples in the example.net area. And I have the .NET sort of client here installed, and when you usually when you work in this when you work like I do here in the terminal using the .NET command, I can create an application. I wonder how did I do it? .NET new. I want a console application. I want it to be stored in, or I want it to sort of have a name. Start C# application, whatever. I don't mind. So, okay, so it creates some boiler code for me, creates a project file, and it's somewhere here. cd start C# app ls. Okay, so I got something that looks like a project file. I wonder what that is. Let's review that. Okay, so it looks like an XML file somehow. Okay, I can deal with that. But I assume that the actual program would be in the CS file. Yeah, looks like a program. It has some using some system libraries. It got a namespace. Okay, everything is a class. So need a class, and I would need a main, and I just write it. This can't be that different from a Java program. Many years since I wrote a Java program before, but it looks more or less almost the same. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So then let's assume that you have sort of good. Well, how hard could it be to move on into the C# area? Well, okay, let's say that at least. So okay. So I'm in here, right? ls, and I will run it. And I will run it, I said. Run. So .NET, that's what it sort of parses, prepares the program to be run, and executes it. I guess I got hello world, thank you. And it's also sort of generating files in the bin directory. It will generate, it has the object directory. I could actually remove those two directories. So those two directories should not be a part of my Git repository. So they will be sort of generated. So it is the programs files, the project file that is sort of essentials. So I think I actually updated my let's see, where am I? .git ignore file. I think I updated that to sort of remove or sort of ignore these parts that comes sort of auto-generated stuff in .NET programs, so I don't push them up. So, okay. Let's go to the text editor, because we have some programs here that we could sort of try to run and just briefly review how they look like. And before that, then, when you do this now, you need to sort of will you go the Michael way, work like this, or will you go the 2019 way? Do everything by click F5, work in the Visual Studio 2019, nice friendly environment. So maybe you could do both, but sort of select a way and it will sort of affect how you work with it. Let's just see what we have here. So I have a data directory. Okay, it's just a JSON file. Maybe I'm using that in one of my example programs. Could I have a look at it? Data.account JSON. Yes, it looks like some bank account stuff. Maybe it's used. Let's see. Okay, I have an F#. Let's try F#. We are not going to do F#, but I would like to see how F# looked like. So I got a .NET run. I created a sample project for F# just to see how it looked like, and I made the smallest one even possible. So I got the program there. Let's do it like this. Quit. Oh, what is that? UTF-8 encoded file? Perhaps. Open system, some entry point, let main. It looks a bit different when we write code in this way. So. But nice to know that I'm not too far from moving into the F# environment. I just need to learn a bit more about it. So let's leave that. We're not going there today. So, hello, JSON, menu, object orientation. Let's just review these before we look at the code. So here I have only code in one program. So I have a large program. It looks like a lot of try code from the tutorial. Let's see what happens when I run it. Okay, so it prints out a lot of small minor stuff just to get acquainted with how it works. Get the feeling of the program. Okay, yes, we'll look into this. Just see the code. What should we look on? We have data, F#, hello. So we got 3 more. We have JSON, menu, and OO. Let's go to the menu. Menu. So somewhere in the assignment, I think I wrote to do a menu control program. So how do we do a menu control program? Let's see. We do it like, maybe like this. So we print out the menu. Yeah, you have done it before, I guess. While loop, run in eternity until someone presses an exit. So here I think I can do enter a string. I want to modify moped. So, well, it was reversed. Okay, let's go back there. Remove white space. Okay, let's try that. I have a string with some white space. Oops, yay, wow. And it was removed white space. Yes, okay, let's go back, exit it. Okay, good. So I have a program, gives me sort of boilerplate for running a console menu program. Okay. We'll check into that code later. We just want to know what kind of example programs we have here. We have object orientation, I guess it is, and we have JSON. So let's go to OO. Okay, so I got 2 files here. So it seems like I have the program file. How large could it be? Not that large. Oh, it is an UTF-8. Wonder what that is doing there. Okay, never mind. So we have the main program there, doing some working in an object-oriented way, like in all languages we are sort of aware of, more or less. So I guess we have a class there, create a new object of it, print it out, use a constructor. Okay, let's just review the class, how it looks like. So does it look? Yeah. So including some stuff at the above, public class person. Okay. Create a constructor. Another constructor that takes 1 argument. Okay, so we need to do 2 constructors depending on the constructor overloading somewhere. If we did this in PHP, we could only do 1 constructor, so we'd have to have sort of default arguments instead to solve the same things. Setters and getters, we define them in this way. Do you define setters and getters with this type of syntactic sugar? No? No? We do it in C# though. And we have some kind of magic string converting the whole object to a string. So yes, could have that in PHP, JavaScript, all the other languages we are aware of. Okay, good. So that is the way to actually have separate the code into different files. And if I remember this, I actually did not even include it. So there are some small magic behind the scene that is finding the person class, since it's in the same library, same directory with the same name as the class. So I didn't need to import it. Okay, I got that. And the last stuff then. What have we? We have a JSON. So let's see what JSON does. So everything in one major program. Let's just see how large is it. So there we have some code. We have the main function, show all accounts. The balance was increased by 1. What is... So, okay, so here I got more. I have static methods or functions. Enumerable on accounts. Seems like I'm reading this data account JSON file here. Maybe I'm doing something with it. I'm reading the data using one of various ways. So I got a stream reader. Read it. Serialize. Okay. Here we go. So obviously I'm using some kind of JSON serializer to deserialize the whole file. And I want to have it as an array of accounts. So I got the data, yes, property, okay. Let's see. I have save accounts. So obviously I'm trying to resave the file there. So maybe I did some updates to it. And here again I get a lot of code to write out and serialize the content of the JSON data and save it onto a file. And I'm doing it with JSON serializers, which is built in .NET Core, so it's no external module to do this. Maybe if we used an external module, they could have wrapped this around and made a tiny bit better user interface for me to write the code. Maybe. Okay. And at the bottom I have created a class. So I guess I have an example program that is reading my JSON file, importing it into objects of this type, and I'm working with it, and then I'm sort of serializing the array of all objects and saving it to a JSON file again. So yeah, let's see if it actually works. So we got the .NET run, and something happens. So show all accounts. I'm showing all the accounts, and then I'm updating the balance into them, increasing the balance by 1. So it's a bank here. And so it went from 11 to 12, and I saved the account balance. Okay, so that was it. Load, update, save, JSON data. Okay. I think that was all. So let's just quickly review our code behind these sample programs. We have them in .NET. There we go. So yes, we have this. This was the, oh, it's 12 now. Okay. That was the data file. The F# file we can really, so let's ignore that. You know what? I'm always saying, you see these hidden things? Maybe, you see it? Can you see the not printed characters at the end? No, maybe you can't. Because all my files in this .NET area, they are sort of created with the Windows type of line ending. And I guess I've said that always used Unix style line ending before, but I actually sort of left the Windows style line ending in this environment. It felt like a foolproof way to do it. Okay, so let's see. When we sort of create a completely new console application, it looks like this then. So this is the code we get. Boilerplate code. That's all it takes to actually run the program then. And I played around with the some constructs. Since it's a bit like Java, I guess it looks more or less. So we have this main class program. Somewhere in it, it will be a main, perhaps, somewhere below. I can create a lot of methods, or it's functions, methods. They are static, so it's methods, yeah, but they are static at least, so won't be using this or an object to work with them. Just to organize our code, there are some iterate and variables, basically sort of code constructs from when you walk through the video C# 101, that video series will sort of walk you through all these. So. And we got the main. Calling the functions or methods, what was functions for each. Yeah, so basically what we expect when moving into another code program or programming language. Same construct as always. I tend to see that the thing I find hardest when I learn a new language would be, yes, but how does the sort of, it is this part I actually want to see. This, so how does the actual main program look like? And once you have given that to me, yeah, then I can move on. Then I want a reference manual. That is important. And it might be useful to give me a helping hand, just the first steps, so I see how the loop looks like, how you write your if statements, what type of lists or containers can I work with, and then sort of more and more sort of, yes, I know how it works. So we have that hello. We have the menu. Let's just see how it looks like. So we have the main program. We have an eternal loop. We have the menu in the function. Now I call these, since they are static, I call them functions. Just write it up. Do a switch by reading input from the user. And there we have our menu. And call these functions if they are selected. Okay. Could be good to have since we are doing that type of sort of application. Let's see. We reviewed the person class. This is my own class. I did it. Person, get, override, and I'm using it in the context of my main program. I actually didn't even need to import it. I could just use it. Create it. Use a property of it. And split things into different files. Because you want to do that. You don't want to have one large main program with everything in it. And then the final stuff would be JSON, which could be useful both for the assignment and perhaps for the project. So we have a namespace. We are using some internal stuff. We need to look up. These are JSON stuff, and this is for the IEnumerable. So we have a We have a namespace, we have a program, everything in one file here. Read all the accounts in, so get me all the JSON data from the file, so read accounts. Loop through all accounts, so I can enumerate around the accounts, and I get one account that looks like this class I defined at the bottom. I add balance to them, so work with them, just add balance. And show them off again just to see that the balance changed really. And save it up, end up by saving the new JSON data completely to the file then. So the example is just to show how you could work with JSON data. So we have an read account, gives us something to enumerate on, holding account types. Reading from the file, stream reader, read to end, get all the data, deserialize it into an array of accounts, and yeah, sort of actually maps the property names in the JSON file onto the member variables. And this is just sort of yeah, ignore if it's the member variables is capital, and in the JSON file is all lowercase, but it still manages to map those. That's why that's there. So read all accounts and return it, and then save the accounts, save it file, working with the file, serialize everything that, well, serialize it, everything in the accounts array. The accounts array is sent in there, serialize it, write it to file. So yeah, easy way to work with, so JSON database-ish stuff. And this class then, that class should map there, and there. Those parts should then map towards the JSON data, number, balance. Oh. Oh, yes. It messed with my JSON file, because when I started doing this, I had all lowercase. That was my first version. But now it's sort of loading the JSON file and rewriting it, and then it's writing up with a new property names instead. Okay. Huh, I didn't see that before. So there we go. Was that all? Yeah, I think that was all. And I tried to put, since there are so many technology stuff we're doing here, so I tried to put up almost a lot of code, at least, where you could look at, review, and if you sort of get the content of that code, yeah, you could also use some parts of it to actually carry out the assignment. And if you do that together with this C# 101, yeah, that should do it. On Monday we will have a look into how we do this, but in the context of a web application. Should we end this and take the project? Yeah, let's do that. What are we going to do then? We're going to have a project. So let's see. Let's see what we are saying. So I don't think we say much here. Nope. So let's go back to the modules. we are going to go to this project assignment. I updated it, so just briefly review how it looks like. The first thing I would like you to do then is sort of team up, decide who to work with, decide what technologies you're going to use. So give me just a briefly sketch on what you're aiming for and put it up on the sort of canvas. It's basically for me to know that yes, these are the groups that are active, and it's fun to know what you are trying to do. But you can change way later on. It doesn't really matter. So do that. Whenever you're ready, let's say latest 17th of February then. And let's see what I did in the project specification, just to see how this is going to turn out. Oh, we can remove that now, yes? Okay. So you saw this before. I put up brief information on it. Yep. So you are supposed, let's see, with you are going to select the backend technology. You're going to do some decisions on the front end. We are actually going to do more or less all of the stuff we talked about during the course, but now in one web application. If you want to use this fancy framework, there is a lot out there. Yes, I will most likely answer yes to most of them, but feel free to ask. So I did like this. Oops. So I really don't care. I care. I don't mind. You can choose your own topic of the web application. So feel free to do that. There are some requirements here that I want that all applications should have. So let's see that. I would like to see a backend that are using a template language when it generates pages. Backend, some kind of template language.
Does that mean either through PHP or EJS?
Yes, if you're going with PHP, you're most likely using PHP as a template language. And Node.js Express, yes, we looked at EJS as a template language, yes. And we'll have some Razor in the ASP.NET environment, so that will be a template language. So. But you can do other choices if you really want to also. So on the back end, we will deliver just ordinary pages, but we will also supply REST API. So two things of it. And we should have a connection to a relational database. So. What was the database you used before? You told me in other courses, somewhere out in the
Courses, that's different.
So I would like you to have a local database.
That's no problem. Does it have to be relational?
No. You can do it. If it turns out to be that you having so much difficulties in solving my requirement on database there, so it sort of turns up, oh, I only did JSON files, Michael. Is that okay? And then maybe I will look sort of like, I have the angry eye, and I say, and maybe I just say, okay. But if you do a sort of JSON document type of database, or
DB or
sorry,
MongoDB.
MongoDB. Yes, do it. Yes, nice. Okay, that works. Yep. But I would really like to have a actual local database that you are connecting to, because it's a bunch of stuff you need to do to actually make it work. So it could be a hard thing. Maybe you could put one of your team guys to do that specific part. But yes, what if you only are two that is doing it? Okay, we could have a discussion.
What's the ideal number for the team? 60.
I don't.
Ideal number.
I guess 2 or 3. Yeah.
Last time you said 3 would be perfect.
Yeah, I guess 3, because we have a back end, we have a database, we have front end, we have a REST API, so you can divide it among 3. I don't mind if you are 4, but maybe it's a crowd. You decide. Yeah, I really don't mind. Okay, so we need a front end with web pages. Yes, how hard could that be? I want this front end to have some kind of dynamic user interface, and you could connect that to the things we did with fetch JSON to our own REST API this time. And yeah, let's see if it should also connect to the database. Maybe, yes. Then we have some stuff. We have user authentication. We haven't talked about that, but that's good. So you'll fix it. It's a new thing for the. Maybe that is a hard thing to fix. I don't know. We haven't talked about sessions. And sessions works in one way when we are doing it in PHP. There we need sessions. If you are going to do user authentication in Node.js, you might even solve it without sessions, because Node.js is up and running all the time. How could we solve sessions or login authentication when we're doing a .NET? Yeah, let's see. Maybe I talk something about the authentication where we have this section 08, I think it was. No, 08 was optimization. 09 was security. So maybe I'd say something about it then. If you ask me how you do sessions in Node.js Express, maybe I give you a link somewhere I usually use. Okay. So user authentication, and we have a requirement of a user interface with CRUD, the things we did with PHP. So give me a CRUD application also, meaning, yeah, it means a lot. You need HTML forms, you need to post data onto the server. If we are doing this expressway, yeah, maybe we need some kind of middleware that actually can take care of the posted form and sort of deserialize the content of it and make it work. So there might be some sort of stepping stones, but you know how to do this. I will not ask for any report or documentation from this, but there are some things you just should set up on the website here. Okay, this should be a list. So let me fix that. Okay. So project start, project delivery. It's actually 2 parts of the project delivery. It's all in the same week. It's the week before the written examination. Monday, I think it's a review. And so I'll put up a time schedule. You and I sit down, just briefly review what you have done, show it works. We could talk about it. Always nice to talk about code and how it actually worked. And then on Friday, we do a presentation like this. So you put up your whole team, and you make it look real good, just to show off to all your fellow students here. We made it. Make it look good. That is the thing on the Friday. Okay. So let's see what we have for requirements then. Let's see. So I did connect to the different requirements there just to sort of explain. Create a web application. Create a narrative. So you decide on how your application should work like. What is the sort of context you are working with? I only want to see these techniques work together. So create a web application, get a home page, write something on it. Create an about page just about your team members. Okay, static page. Create another page that provides content from the database. So it will be get me content from the database, render it through the template language, make it look nice. So it's stuff that we have done, but now you should do all these stuff in one common language then. Create a page, dynamically retrieving data. So I'm assuming we're doing fetch here. So it's a client-side request to the REST API, get data all the way from the database and render it on the client side. Yes, we did that somewhere in the JavaScript session, at least. Okay. Is that too little to make you pause the project? That's a good answer. No. Okay, let's take that answer. So, okay, I think I'm satisfied with that. Actually, maybe if I look at it, it doesn't look more than we're actually going to do with assignment 7 or something like that. But, okay, let's leave it with this. I'm fine with it. I will see assignment 1 to 9 when I look at your code also. So, okay, so let's move on. I want a higher grade. So, do authentication. I should be able to log in to the web page and see a hidden page that I can't see otherwise. So, authentication, hide the page. Yes?
What do you mean by can see otherwise? Like unless you're logged in?
Yes, unless I'm logged in. So yes, admin special page. Yes, okay. Exactly. Okay, so do that. So this requires authentication and some using that. So, okay, not too far. Bring me a CRUD part. So do a CRUD part. Create, read, update, delete, and make it. I think I make it yes protected part. So if you build me a Twitter, sort of okay, create a new post on Twitter. Maybe I can update it. Maybe I could even delete it. So that would be a CRUD way. Okay, and that is actually end of coding. If you actually want to have sort of a 5, you need to make it look good. So maybe I could sort of make you pause the lower grades if you just sort of, okay, you bits and pieces, you put it together. Look here, Michael, it works. Yeah. But if we are moving on here, it should look nice. You have done your homework. The website sort of, it ties together. It's a clear narrative. You have it sort of, this is the application we are aiming for, and it's a small one, but it works, holds together. You can navigate it by clicking all the links. Maybe it has a nice sort of login up there. It's obvious. I click it there. The nav bar is nice. The footer is nice. You have selected a sort of a style sheet that sort of looks nice. It feels like a Unity. So make it looks nice. It works flawlessly. Navigate and reach all parts. No troubles. So it's a, what could we say? It's a quality thing. It's not a technology thing to move on to 5. It's just should be good work.
A spa, or you have to go from one page to another page and navigate? Or it's up to us to decide?
Yeah, I guess that depends on. We are not building a complete spa application here. You might do it if you want to, but then I guess you need perhaps more than just a fetch API. So I did not intend to get the complete spa application. If I get the spa application, yes, nice work. So, but anyway, if it's a spa or it's a more static page with some dynamic fetch pages, just make it easy to sort of navigate, work with it. And look, the teacher, he wants so many things. And I would just, when we sit down on this Monday, if we are going for this, it would be very nice that I could talk to the whole team and that I get an understanding that the whole team actually knows all parts of the application, how they work together. So you don't need to be expert on the database part if your friend did it, but you should sort of have a rough knowledge on how it connects together, how it works. Maybe I ask some questions about it just to get me a feeling that, yeah, this is a cool team. They actually did this the whole way. So that's the way. I think it will work. I hope it works for you. And yes, I don't really know what I will get for kind of results here, but I guess I get a few really cool stuff, I think.
Can we see like previous projects, like just the idea they have?
I don't. The last two courses, last 2 times the course was, they had a bit different requirement specification. Let me look into it. Let's see if I can find anything. Yeah, I'll ask David or Nasila. Yes, I will do that. So you know what? Oh, it's almost 3 o'clock. I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. Yes, it's Friday. Okay, see you on Monday.